4 out of 5 diabetics struggle with burnout, anxiety, or shame. Yet most advice that you see on Instagram, YouTube, or even from your doctors completely ignore the mental game. What if I told you that the difference between feeling stuck and feeling like remission is impossible isn't just discipline, but rather having a roadmap and tracking results week by week so that you can see progress? And this is the problem, right? Is that most fat loss coaches on Instagram will blame you. They will say that you lack effort, you lack discipline, and you just need to get out and you need to get after it. Okay. But the problem is that you lack strategy. So I want you to think of this example, right? If you took a work horse and it pulled a huge cart that was filled with supplies, maybe goods. Okay, so this horse is taking these supplies to the market, and the cart that it's pulling doesn't have any wheels. So the horse is pulling really, really hard, but because it doesn't have wheels on the cart, it's got enormous friction on the ground underneath it. And that is exactly what's happening for you right now, is you've got a lot of discipline, you've got all this like effort, you're putting in so much energy, but because you don't have wheels on your cart, you're not getting results the same way that some are. So instead of obsessing over daily numbers, track weekly trends, and we're going to talk about, what's working, what's not working, and the mindsets, the beliefs that are killing diabetics and the ones that are getting results. So if we take a look at the top left, okay, this is a type 2 diabetic, and they went to the doctor on Wednesday. They found out that their A1C is at the point where they are officially in remission. And this is incredible news. Like, if you see here, it got 83 upvotes and 32 comments. So this is an enormous achievement, something that many diabetics never achieve. And if we compare this to a post in a similar time span where this person was complaining. They were saying, hey, I'm battling, I've made some progress, I've lost some weight, I'm on metformin, I'm on glipizide, and I feel stuck. I feel like each day is the same and I've plateaued. I feel like the meals that I'm making aren't getting me progress, and they're also becoming a bit bland. So what separates these two people? That is what we're trying to figure out in this video, okay? Is what separates the person who enters remission and who loses the weight and who gets their health back, they get their energy back, and they get off medication, versus the people who feel stuck, the people who plateau, and the people who feel like the world is against them. Because we are obviously trying to be like person number one. Now, the first thing I want to show you is these two pictures. Okay, picture number one is a highway with checkpoints, and this is a roadmap. And the problem that I see with a lot of the guys that I speak to is that they do not have a clear path in front of them. They are getting all of this conflicting and free advice on YouTube or Facebook groups, and they try it for a few days, then maybe they get some results and maybe they give up, or they get bored and they try something new. And because of this, they're making it a little bit up the hill and then they're rolling back down. So the first thing that we need to focus on is building a roadmap. We need to ask ourselves, okay, what is possible in 3 months? How are we going to track our blood sugar? How are we going to track our A1C, our waist, and our weight? Okay. And the second thing that we need to focus on is this guy over here. His name is Friedrich Nietzsche. He's one of the youngest men to ever achieve a PhD in philosophy and literature. And he had this concept, which is very well known nowadays, and that is, he who has a why can bear any how. And the concept behind this is that if you are coming up against a difficulty, which is your health, or feeling lost, feeling burnt out, feeling anxious, feeling shameful when you're at the dinner table with your family and maybe you have to inject insulin, or maybe you've got to go to the bathroom to check your CGM, or maybe you need to rush home because your blood sugar is too high and you need to take your metformin. Okay, that shame that you feel, And maybe the fear that you feel, the anxiety that you feel of the future, and knowing that your life is not promised to you, knowing that you could have a heart attack, that you could experience a kidney diagnosis. So, what I'm getting at here is that the first thing we need is a roadmap, which is a path. And the second thing we need is a mindset, which is the engineering or the way that you need to view the path in order to walk it and in order to reach milestones that get you results. I hope this is making sense, okay? And this is what I want for you. I want you to wake up with a blood sugar like this guy over here, who is stable at 100 milligrams per deciliter. That is a very stable blood sugar. And this is our goal, to become insulin sensitive to the point where our blood sugar is stable and we're not on medication, and we're metabolically healthy, we're burning body fat, and we're staying fit, we're staying energetic, and we're not reliant on all of these crazy alternatives, right? Okay, now, before we get into the actual strategies, I want to break down this guy here and the mindset. So now, most of you guys that I'm speaking to are probably pre-diabetic. Maybe you're type 2 diabetic. Maybe you're on metformin or Jardiance or glipizide. Maybe you're on insulin. But these are two type 1 diabetics that I found on a forum where I was speaking to guys. And if we compare these two, this is what I would call a victim of circumstance, and no personal judgment towards the person. But what we can see on his shirt is that he is owning the fact that he is a diabetic. Okay? So you get someone who is thinking like a victim. They think, I suffer from diabetes, versus I am a man who has diabetes. Okay? Because both of these, and let's call him a hero of his life, okay? Both of these men have type 1 diabetes. And the one over here says proud owner of a useless pancreas. And what we notice in the background is there are all these cupcakes and sweet treats behind him. So he hasn't shifted who he is in order to become the hero of his own story. And if we compare this man sitting here in a UV lit room with baked goods behind him, awkwardly standing with his hands in his pocket, and he's got this identity of proud owner of a useless pancreas. If we compare that to this guy over here, who's busy checking his CGM, okay, he's at 6.8 millimole. This is 31st of Jan 2025. And he's got these like diabetic friendly snacks over here. And he's busy climbing a mountain. It looks like he's snowboarding, or maybe he's skiing. And he left a note here. He said, I've lived with type 1 diabetes for 25 years, and too often it has felt like the condition put a brake on adventure. But now at 47, I feel a strong urge to rediscover adventure, with diabetes as a companion and not a barrier. Does anyone else recognize these challenges? And there was a gentleman who commented below this, and he said, with type 1 diabetes, I really want to get back into exercise. So already, this is someone who is a victim who is wanting to become a hero. So maybe right now you feel like a victim. Maybe right now you feel stuck. Maybe right now you feel like you're sick and tired of feeling sorry for yourself. And you are ready to become a hero of your own story. You're ready to take action. You've grown sick of it. I spoke to a dad named Kyle, and he told me, I grew sick of it. And in 5 weeks, he cut out junk food, he cut out sugar, and he started training, and he dropped 9 pounds in 5 weeks. And he's got his labs coming up, and I'm very confident that his doctor's going to adjust his heart meds. I bet you, okay? So this is a victim who's wanting to become a hero. And he says, with type 1 diabetes, I really want to get back into exercise, but I'm not sure where to start. He really wants to become like this guy, but he has no roadmap. He's not sure exactly where he should start. I used to love going for a good run, but I'm scared to try again as I don't want to hypo when I'm far from home. Anyone got advice on how to get back into exercise with type 1 diabetes after not trying for a long time? He hasn't given up, but it's almost as if he is imagining this hero as someone in the past instead of in the future. So let's give him some advice. So he is scared of hypoglycemia, when your blood sugar drops too low. I get that. Option number one is you can train at home. So you can train at home so that you're not 20 minutes away from your house and you get hypo. That's one. Option number two is you can carry like a pouch. I've got this like pouch that I strap to my chest when I'm busy running or training. You can carry a little jar of honey in there so that if your blood sugar does go too low, you can literally have a bit of honey. Okay. Option number three is to build a workout plan, like a schedule. So to give yourself a bit of structure. Option number four, to be honest, I would not even focus on running. And this is coming from someone who loves running. I run like half marathons and trails, and I do all sorts of runs with my girlfriend. Recently we did a 13-mile race in Cape Town. I love running. But if you're type 1 or type 2 or pre-diabetic, okay, there's nothing stopping you from weights. And the reason I suggest that most guys start with the weights is because when you run, your body enters a state of stress. Think about it. For millions of years, we have evolved to run in the face of danger. When we see a bear, when we see a lion, when we see a tiger, we ran. Okay? Whereas lifting weights, you're not running away from anything. You're telling your body, it's okay, I'm here, I'm moving weights, I'm building muscle. And what's awesome is that the more muscle you have, the more sensitive you're going to be to insulin. Because muscle is this hungry organ. It burns through blood sugar. It does it like a freaking steam train, you know? So that's just a little bit of practical advice. But now let's talk to this guy. Where would I encourage him to start? We got a little bit of an article here. I've been walking at least 10,000 steps a day. I'm also trying to eat healthier. I'm eating more fish and chicken now. That's because I found I might have liver problems too. So he's avoiding red meat. He's sticking to fish and chicken. That's awesome. So now if I drink anything sweet, I only take a small sip. I'm only about 10 pounds overweight. I eat mostly veggies and fish sticks. I don't have much choice in the matter though. Hardest thing for me is giving up sweets, like with apple juice, orange juice, same story. I even have a bottle of Mountain Dew. It's a 16-ounce bottle, and most I've done is taking a very tiny sip once a day. I don't mean taking a whole drink. I mean just above a drop to actually taste something. I'm drinking a lot more water now, mostly tap water and Propel. I drink about 40 to 60 ounces a day, and sometimes even more. And then he's asking, what's been working for you guys? And someone else here posted Diet Dr. Pepper. And this is a big thing that diabetics struggle with when they're making these adjustments, and that is craving, okay? Cravings are a big part of the inner battle, of that feeling of anxiety and shame. And I've been there. I used to battle enormous cravings for junk. So firstly, let's think about food, and then let's think about drinks. So for food, he said that he's already doing salmon, and he said he's already doing chicken, and I take it he's probably doing eggs. The only thing I didn't see him mentioning is healthy fats. So on this plate, okay, obviously he's already having fatty fish, but I would make sure to get some fatty avocados and some fatty cheese in. This is gonna make you feel more energized. Fat doesn't trigger insulin as much as carbs, And what's awesome is that fat also makes you feel very satiated. It makes you feel full, okay? But now what about these diet drinks? Does anyone have issues out there with diet drinks that raise blood sugar? I'm using a Dexcom 8. So this guy posted, I think, this picture. Hey, does anyone know how many carbs are in this? I've tried looking it up. I went to their website and my boyfriend emailed them about it. It's a C-grams escape spike. Da, 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 da. My only concern with Diet Dr. Pepper and this drink here is artificial sweetener. Okay? Artificial sweetener has been proven to interrupt and destroy the beneficial gut bacteria that sit inside of you that are responsible for mood stability, which is how we decrease that anxiety and stress that you feel as a diabetic. But those healthy bacteria also help a ton with reducing inflammation and increasing your metabolism. And artificial sweeteners have been shown to have an adverse effect to those healthy bacteria's reproduction and function. So instead, what I would do is cut that out, and focus on a drink like Zevia. Now, it doesn't have to be Zevia specifically. I love ginger beer, so this is a naturally sweetened and naturally flavored ginger beer. But as long as you are focusing on natural sweeteners, think of allulose, think of stevia, which is what is in Zevia, or think of monk fruit. I would focus on natural sweeteners that are not going to disrupt your gut biome, okay? Because your gut biome is where most of your metabolism and mental health takes place. And those are super, super, super critical parts of being a human being alive. And especially for diabetics, your mental health and your metabolic health are the biggest challenges that you're probably experiencing, okay? So once you have a roadmap, once you have a mindset, and once you have the right drinks and the right foods, you then need to track. I would focus on tracking daily and then looking at the weekly metrics, because daily it's going to be up, down, up, down, up, down. The weekly is what's important, because then you can start identifying trends in your sleep, in your stress, in the way that supplements affect you, or maybe the way that weightlifting affects you or running affects you. So you can start to develop a bit of a rhythm. Think of it like the stock market. If you look at the stock market, it is maybe down 2% today and it's up 5% tomorrow. It's up, down, up, down, up, down. But if you look at it over a month or a year, you can see that the stock market is consistently going up at about 10 to 12% per year. And it's the same for your health, because like the stock market, your body is organic. It's a living thing. It's not like a car or a computer, okay? It's a living, breathing thing. And with that, there are all of these irregularities, but over time, we can see a pattern. And that pattern is what's important. That is what we should be tracking, okay? So I hope that this video has provided you a ton of value. If you are tired of guessing and you want help building a personalized roadmap to shred 25 to 30 pounds of body fat, to pack on lean muscle, and to reduce your medications. If you want to win your energy back and you want to do this without counting calories and without cardio, then you can book in a free strategy call with me. It will just be me, and we'll have a one-on-one discussion around what you've been trying, what's been working, what hasn't been working, the medications you're on, and what is realistic in terms of achieving your goal in the next 3 to 6 months. So if you're sick of doing it alone and you need support and you want someone to help you with a roadmap, the mindset, the tools, guidance, the checklist, and the strategy to get there guaranteed, then book in a call with me and I'll see you there. For now, bye, and thank you for making me a part of your day, brother. It's been Ben, and yeah, really, really grateful you made it this far in the video. It shows me that you're serious about this. So you take care of yourself, and we'll be talking soon. Bye for now.